Hi, this is Walter from Learn, and in this video we're going to continue to build on our previous video in building out a project plan in Microsoft Project 2021. Now, a couple of things I want to do first is to come over to the task column here, and I'm going to come up to the task toolbar, or ribbon as it's sometimes referred to, and I'm going to set the task mode to auto schedule. Now what that does is automatically calculate dates based on the links and any constraints factors that you built into the plan. So something I highly recommend you setting up right from the outset. Now, other thing is that we previously had the work breakdown structure showing you how the project plan is being shaped. I'm also going to highlight that column, and I'm going to hide it, and we're going to come back to that in an upcoming video. Now what I'm going to also do is bring into play our predecessor column. So I'm just dragging this bar, typically it's hidden, drag that across, that bar across, and highlight that column, click and hold down and drag that predecessor column. I'm just going to place it between the duration here and the date here. Now, one of the things to note about tasks, in most cases, tasks in a plan are related to each other, and is that relationship that drives the logic through your plan. Also to notice that, sometimes people refer to those relationships as being called task dependencies or links. Very rare would you have tasks that are not actually related to each other in a plan. So that's good thing in terms of understanding how tasks are related and what they actually are. Right, so main focus for today and this session is really about linking, building some more logic into the plan. So we're going to start by selecting the first section in terms of tasks. And as you probably have noted throughout the plan from previous session is that I've just put in some blank rows just to separate the different sections, and that's just to make it easier for understanding. So highlighting the tasks that you looking to link. So in my case, the first two at the top here, I'm linking it, coming up again to this task ribbon or toolbar. And if you come over and you see these two kind of clips here together, you click on this. One is for linking tasks and the other one is for unlinking those tasks. So we're looking to link the tasks. Now straight away what you would see on the right hand side, you see a Gantt chart is starting to develop here. So if you hover, so you can see one task here with this little bar with the second task. And if you hover over this link with the arrow on it, it gives you a kind of brief description of what that relationship or what is that task is. So it's a finish to start task. And what is that saying is the first task must finish before the second task starts. Now, by linking that, what you can see in the predecessor column is you have a 2 in that column. So that is saying that this task, and I'm just going to move this bar across the right hand side, that task number 3 here is linked to the previous task, which is task number 2. Now, there are different types of relationship and linking tasks within in project, and this is what we're going to build through here. So the first one is a finish to start. So first up, task finishing, second one start. So next block we're going to go to is the initiate section here, and what we're going to do is to again click and hold down and drag down. That just highlights those two tasks in there, and we're going to come up to the top again and click on the link. Now we're going to come over to the arrow on the side, the link on the side there, and we're going to double click on it, and this is for demonstration purposes. So as you can see, we have the different types of link here. We just looked at the finish to start. Now we're going to look at a start to start. So click on OK. So what that has done, what is it saying here, is these two tasks would start at the same time. Okay, you want those two tasks to start at the same time, not finish. So the first task can start and it may have a 3-day duration. The second task may have a 10-day duration. So, but the key thing is for them to start. So if you look in the predecessor column here, you can see that this task, so task number 7, is linked to task 6, and it's got an SS which means it's a start to start. So both tasks are starting at the same time. Now I'm going to repeat the same process because typically that's what it is in terms of linking tasks within a project plan. So we're going to move to requirements section here. And again, we highlight the various tasks underneath that and we link those tasks. Now this time what we're going to do is again repeating that same process above, looking at the different link types here. So we've looked at a finish to start, and we look at finish to start, start to finish. Now we're going to look at a finish to finish. So what you can see from the Gantt chart view on the right hand side here is, and also in the predecessor column, you have this task here, number 11, has got a 10FF, which is saying that it's finished. It has to finish at the same time as the previous task. So 11 has to finish at the same time as task number 10. So, and that is demonstrated over here. You can see in this highlighted section here that you have this finish to finish section linking there. Now moving on to the next set of tasks, repeating that same process, and that's basically what, as I said, how we are linking tasks. So the various groups, and in this scenario here we're going to look at the final linking option in the task dependencies. Again, linking, as you can see at the top, we have the option of unlinking those tasks or linking those tasks. What we're going to demonstrate is this last task here. Is we're going to double click again on that arrow and that join, and we're going to make that task a start to finish. Okay, I'm going to click on OK, and you can see that's represented in the predecessor section here, again, column, I should say, and demonstrated here in terms of this highlighted section to your right in the Gantt view. Now what that is saying in terms of linking is that the previous task, or I should say the last task, cannot finish until the previous task has actually started. However, the last task can finish any time after the previous task has started. What I would say is this particular linking option is not typically used, certainly when I'm planning and plans that I have seen. And I would say if you find yourself in that situation where you are needing to use this type of link relationship, I would suggest that you review your logic within your plan before actually using it. Now scrolling back up to the top in terms of what we have in terms of our link options here, is this first one, which is finish to start, is the actual default for project. Now another way of actually linking, and I'll just quickly demonstrate that here, is that we do have the option of, so if we just unlink this section up here, sorry, unlinking, so you can see these first two tasks are now unlinked. Now with a predecessor, and it's something which I use, and maybe if you're a beginner, it's something you'll kind of build into later on, is that you do have the option of just clicking in the predecessor here and actually just typing in number 2 And as you can see on the right hand side, you have the Gantt view showing that those tasks are linked. And as I said, putting the 2 in there gives you that other option actually of providing a linking option for your tasks. Now, one of the things I'd always like to recommend to beginners learning how to build project plan is to always try and build your task chronologically. It just makes it so much easier for grouping those tasks together. As you can see, I've created the various groups here, concept, initiation, etc. It just makes it so much easier of actually linking tasks into groups, so task, subtask, parent task, etc. It makes that whole process so much easier if you build those tasks in chronologically. Okay, so I have shown you how to link the various sections of the plan together using the various options as we've seen. By just double clicking here, we can see the different types, start to finish, finish to start, finish to finish, etc. Now, what does linking the whole groups together looks like? How can we get to link that? So it's great, we can block out this section, as I said, lay these out chronologically so it's easier. So just block them out. So if I wanted to link them together, it's exactly the same process. So I would select, for example, if we start at the top, the last task in that first block, come down to the first task in the second block and go up to the top and link. If you see on the right hand side here, we've got our Gantt chart is developing here. And if we continue that process of linking the last task to the first and the next block, we can see on the right hand side that our Gantt chart is, slide that across, is developing. And we're going to do the same, repeat that same process for the next block of the last task and the first and the next, and linking them. And now what you have is your Gantt chart is now developing, I should say. We have some further tasks at the bottom, further down, but we're only looking really at how we link tasks within a project plan and the basics of it, and this is what we are looking at. Now, Gantt charts are great, and we'll come on to covering that in more details in how we can manipulate and how we can use that as part of reporting, etc., for decision making, which is one of the things that project managers need to do and have to do as part of reporting. It's a great tool within Microsoft Project, a great reporting option to have when you presenting updates on tracking and project plan. One thing I will just quickly show you before we finish off in this session is on the top right hand side of the task, the toolbar, or the ribbon of the task section, is we have this detail section here. And if you click on detail, so on a task, if you click on that, you will see a lot more details around the task, the start finish times, the actual any constraints that's built into there, the task units, what that might be, a fixed duration, etc., percentage complete. And as you can see, this has got a type of FS, which is finish to start in there, any lag that's built into the logic, into the plan. So for example, you may want, the first task is finish, and you do not want the second task to start for, maybe 2 days, 3 days afterwards. So that's one of the things that we can look at more detail of this task detail here, and, alternative for linking or updating or adding constraints into your plan. But I hope you enjoy this. Thank you for being with me on this follow-up session of building our plan. Now we've just worked on linking and some of the logic in there, and I will look forward to seeing you in next upcoming video. Thank you.